What's up, peers, and welcome to Bitcoin to the Max, here live on the World Crypto Network. Now, as we have established in the last show, that a money first and foremost needs to be established as a store of value. This means that individual users are willing to postpone their gratification for the consumption or utilization in production of a good from today until an uncertain future. Therefore, this lowers the time preference and increases the planning horizon, the time horizon that individuals and entrepreneurs rely upon. This store of value aspect thus precedes the step which we will talk about today, which is the use of Bitcoin as a widespread medium of exchange. And why is that so? Well, inherently, entrepreneurs and businesses, let's say Bob, first need to accept the Bitcoin as a store of value. They will want to give up their goods and services in exchange for the sound money Bitcoin, only if it truly has store of value aspects, if they believe that in the future, Bitcoin will still retain its value, so they can, in the future, accumulate and acquire the production and consumption goods that they need for their true satisfaction of desires. And only when this store of value aspect is implemented, do they accept Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. That is, as entrepreneurs move from a pure state of barter, where Alice gives up her apples in exchange for Bob's berries, and realize that in the double coincidence of one's problem, if Bob does not like to have Alice's apple, well, then Alice will not be able to convince Bob to give them up in exchange for the apples. So therefore, Alice needs to acquire a medium of exchange. Let's say that is the wood provided by Charlie. And if Bob likes to accumulate this wood in exchange for berries, then Alice can purchase this wood from Charlie, however, not in order to satisfy instantly her gratification for consumption or for production of the wood. So she is not going to burn it in a fire or use it to build up a cabin, but rather she only desires this wood as a medium of exchange to acquire the production, or here more the consumption goods of Bob's berries. So Alice does not need the wood in consumption herself, but she wants to use it in an indirect exchange with Bob. And if Bob wants to accumulate and store his value in this wood, then he will give up the berries in voluntary exchange. Thus, again, making sure that this transaction is mutually beneficial throughout. Though it is important here to stress the aspect that the store of value of Bitcoin is the first and comes before the medium of exchange value of Bitcoin. And as we have discussed last show, it is that the store of value relies on the supply of Bitcoin and demand of Bitcoin. So first, the supply of Bitcoin needs to be immutable. And only when this is truly the case can entrepreneurs move on and accept Bitcoin as a method of payment. This is an inherent aspect of any money in its evolution of becoming a truly fully global money. And thus, these entrepreneurs rely on the unchangeability of Bitcoin's money supply. And also, of course, the chicken and the egg problem, the network effects, as more entrepreneurs are willing to accept Bitcoin as a store of value and in medium of exchange, then additional users will not just acquire these Bitcoin, but hold on to them. And the true hodlers of last resort, those that prove the store of value aspect, also ultimately push the medium of exchange aspect of Bitcoin. However, that comes second. And this is as important as it is, but time-wise, it relies on a store of value being established first. And this is why it is important, though, to have Bitcoin being a useful method of payment, but not as important as it is to have a sound money currency that keeps its value across time and across space. And this is why Bitcoin is such a beautiful currency, not necessarily because it is easy or cheap to transact, but because it is a valid and sound store of value, which then ultimately can be used as a good medium of exchange. Thank you very much, peers, for joining me here today on the World Crypto Network for the show Bitcoin to the Max, which is sponsored by you, the peers of the World Crypto Network. And you can become a receiver of these episodes as early as early access with a donation on patreon.com/WCN, and since very recently, tallyco.in/Hillebrand Max. Thank you very much, and see you on the next show. Bye-bye.